Okay, so today we are going to start a two-part project. And so today we're going to make a night scene. And what the finished project is, since you guys are doing superheroes, we're going to make a superhero flying through the night sky. So the first thing I need you to do is we need to make a night sky. So up here, I'm using a Cray-Paw and I might make a moon. And I know it's hard to see white, so I'll outline it in a yellow. But maybe I just want to make a few. Doesn't have to be a lot of stars. Maybe I want to make a few stars and your stars could be dots. They could be. And again, they could be white, even though you can't see them. When we paint them, you'll be able to see them. So it's kind of important that when you're drawing, that you're pushing kind of hard with your Cray-Paw so that when we paint, the paint will just go over. I'm making a few little shine marks, and that's it. Hayden, can you go get me a fat paintbrush? So once you have all of that drawn on your paper, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to paint our paper with water. Just plain water. So I'm going to paint it all with water. Why do you think we're going to paint it with water first?
So we're going to paint. So it's shiny? Yeah, so it's shiny. No.
Because when I paint with water, then that makes my colors blend together. So we're going to think of a night sky. So I got some blues and purples and a little black. I'm going to wake up my colors by putting a little bit of water in them first. And then I'm going to start painting. Now, I don't want to scrub back and forth. See where I have some of that water already? My colors are kind of blending into each other. And that's exactly what I want to have happen. When you go outside and you look at a sunrise or a sunset, all those colors kind of blend. So it's almost like I'm painting some stripes on my paper. And I pushed hard enough with my Cray-Paws that they're starting to show through. Did I just paint over the whole thing together?
No.
If you want to use some black, you can use black, but I'm kind of staying away from black. Bam, I'm done. I want to see, I can see a strip of light purple, dark purple. I didn't come back and go over it like this. I kind of went side to side so I can see some stripes. So the first thing we're doing is we're making a nighttime sky for our superhero to fly in. Okay. So I started and I gave everybody a U on their paper so you can draw your head. We're going to start with the body. So right now what you want to do is you want to give your superhero a neck. So you want to draw two little lines right here for a neck. So I've got my U and I've got two little knot lines. Then I'm going to give it like a rectangle for the body. Very lightly because we're going to erase those lines. Now you can think about what kind of pose you want your superhero. This superhero is kind of like if they're flying. I'm going to have one arm come out and one arm bend. Look where I started my arms. My arms started right here at the top of that rectangle. I don't know what kind of superhero you are doing. There's my superhero hand. And to make my hand, I'm just going to do a rainbow with a little rainbow to the side. If your superhero is wearing pants, you can have your superhero wearing long pants. I think of The Incredibles. The Incredibles, everybody wore a big suit that covered it. Or maybe you're thinking of like Supergirl, and she kind of had a skirt. So notice for the pants, these are just kind of long rectangles. And I just gave them little curvy shoes. Boots that just attach, kind of thinking like a cartoon. And then almost every superhero has their initial or their emblem on their chest. So I'm going to draw the letter V. And then I'm going to make two little lines up there, and I'm going to cross it so it kind of looks like the Superman or the Incredibles. And you can name yourself whatever you want. In this one, I made myself Super Art. So I'm going to do an S and an A in this one. Super Art. Have you guys watched The Incredibles? It's like one of my favorite movies. So you've got to decide if your superhero is going to have a cape. And a cape is like a giant triangle behind your person. So while you guys are catching up, I'm going to go ahead and start to outline mine. And notice when I outline it, I'm going around some of my pencil lines that I can then erase. And then I've got the cape, which is kind of a triangle back behind. And you guys can think of any kind of superhero designs. Maybe she's going to have stars or X's. Her skirt's going to have stars on it. So you can think of what kind of design your superhero might have on their outfit. Maybe they're going to have stripes. Okay, here comes the hard part. We got to think about hair. If you are going to have long hair, what I have to do is I'm kind of going to make like, almost like a letter M that goes behind her hair. And then I'm just going to give her some bangs. So there's my girl hair. For my boy, I guess not a boy, but if you want to do short hair, sometimes for that kind of hair, I just make a like almost a lightning bolt. Same thing. I make a rainbow over the top. There's some hair, like if you're going to have short hair. Maybe you're going to have curly hair. There's some curly hair. Maybe you're a kid superhero. And again, I'm going to make that M over the top of my hair. But maybe I'm going to have a ponytail on each side. So there's all sorts of different ways you can make your hair. But it comes up over the top of the back of your head. My superhero is going to be wearing a mask. So I drew a mask on there. And you can make your cutie eyes if you wanted to make cutie eyes. That's totally up to you. Since we all love cutie eyes. And there is my superhero girl. Super Art. Super Art woman. And my Super Art boy. And then here are all of my hairs that you could choose from. Because hair is super important. So today we are going to finish our superheroes. Last week we made our night sky. We used Crayolas to do a little oil resist, and we painted our background. Then we drew and designed our superheroes. The first thing you want to do is, if you didn't get that done last time, is you want to outline your superhero in a Sharpie, and then you want to color them in. After you've colored them in, you can use markers or colored pencils. I use both. I use some colored pencils on her hair. And when I'm cutting it out, I sometimes, when I cut out, like to give it a little bit of a white border. That way I don't accidentally cut something off that I might need. So again, you want to color, outline, color, and cut out your superhero. So she's all ready to go up in my night sky. Down here, I need to make a city, a nighttime city. So I've cut out some random rectangles that I can glue down here to make some buildings. But that's kind of boring. So you can think of, we'll look at some skyline pictures, but maybe I want to cut the tops, get some paper and cut the tops to make it just a little bit more interesting.
Could we make smoke coming from a bulb?
So I'll glue all those down. Colin, can you hand me that bucket? So what's going to happen if you've been in a city at night? What can you usually see in the buildings?
Yeah, lights. It matters what place you're in.
So I'm going to then glue on some windows. Now, I just cut out a bunch of little shapes. You can make your windows, and not all the lights in the building are going to be on. So if you noticed, I'm just gluing. They're all in rows, but I can just kind of glue my windows on. It would take a lot of electricity to have all the lights on in the building. But that's all you're going to really need to do. And if you want to make your windows even smaller, you can just take your paper, super easy, cut it in half, and then cut it off in half again. And I can have even smaller. Maybe up here at the top of this building are some really tiny windows. And maybe on this one, I've got some of my small windows.
Can you make some smoke?
Nope. So this is what you are working on today. Review. Step 1, outline and color in your person. Just going to tell you all, nobody has yellow skin. I have a bunch of different colors, whether you use colored pencils or find the right marker to pick a good skin color. Do a good job coloring, don't scribble. Cut it out. Again, you might want to leave a little white edge when you're cutting it out. Then you can go from the tub and pick any kinds of rectangles, and you could even add, like this was an extra piece I might had, you can add some little extra pieces to make your building. You can share those pieces with the people at your table. Then when you're done, your superhero gets glued right on the top of your paper.